I'm pretty happy with how it's coming out. It's starting to look like a proper car with some proper chassis legs. I'm starting to think about like a boot floor where I could put fuel tank and starting to chop out some of this box section frame that we put in months ago. So back on with the Princess again today. Quite quickly after the last load of work that I've done on it, I'm keen to get these chassis legs finished off. Obviously I can only do so much from the top with the subframe in because the subframe is pretty hefty and it's kind of difficult to work around. So drop subframe off, luckily that's nice and easy. It's just 4 bolts and the 4 nuts that hold each strut on. I can get in, finish off a load of welds, get a load of it all cleaned up, and then kind of pinpoint areas that need a bit more gusseting, maybe some beefing up. I'm anticipating that in some areas I'll want to kind of maybe like add an extra layer, like a strengthener kind of thing, maybe on any like kind of bits what I like cut up and over the subframe. Anything that I can just do to add in a little bit of strength is probably going to be worth doing, because again this is the kind of area of the car where we're going to put all the power through the wheels. So that's the first thing. Subframe's off, get a load more welding done, get the grinder out, a load of cleaning up, yeah, and then we're going to pinpoint some areas what needs some gussets. Cool, so I've got it all welded up, ground up. Didn't take too long. It's just finishing off lots of bits of stuff that you can't get into when the subframe's in place, and just trying to make it easy for myself really. Yeah, got a load of it ground up as well. I'm not going like mad cleaning up the welds, trying to make it all look super seamless, because to me it doesn't make any difference. I know it's all welded, so does everybody watching. We're not looking at like OE pressed panels. This is like a hand fabricated car, and I don't mind if it looks like that. So I've got it ground up nice just to take all the tops off the welds and any bits of splatter and stuff. Now I'm going to just give it all a good wipe down of all the steel I've put in so far. Give it all a good wipe down with some panel wipe, and then just blast a load of like rattle can etch primer on it, just so it looks, it's like a nice thing to do, to put some primer on it, just so it feels like you're making some progress and it looks good. And then we can start looking at some bits we've got to fill in, chopping out this wheel arch on the other side of the car. Yeah, and then we'll get on with some more fabrication. Got all that cleaned up now. It looks so much better. It's amazing what difference it makes just getting it all ground up and putting a bit of primer on. But what I need to do now is cut out this wheel arch, the same as I'd already done on the other side. So I've cut through the seam. I did that a few weeks back to try and get the car to the ride height I wanted it at. I wanted to try and start playing around the ride heights and things. So we've already separated like the outer quarter panel from the wheel arch, and again, like round here, it's kind of separated anyway because it's very crusty. I'm not sure it's actually still attached. So I'm going to cut all of that out up to like the kind of back of the boot floor, and I'll probably just leave a little bit of the wheel arch in at the front here because it supports the like door step and kind of like this interior panel, which I need to keep. We'll go into that probably at the end of this episode, what I'm going to do with like all the bodywork. Yeah, that's like the next step to start thinking about. But I need to get this chopped out because I want it symmetrical with the other side, because I can now start kind of thinking about wheel tubs floor pan, bodywork and stuff like that. So air hacksaw, get all the rust. I mean, there's not much to chop, it's so rusty, but the more of it I can cut out now, the easier I'm going to make it for myself putting the wheel tub in. So air hacksaw and get chopping. Okay, so we've cut the wheel arch out now, cut all the bracing out, thrown a load of primer on everything, and it's all starting to look, you know, cool. We're chopping out rust, we're putting in new metal, it's looking good. Since we've chopped out this internal brace bit in the boot, one of the things I was worried about was when I chopped that last wheel arch out there, that realistically the only thing holding the back panel on, the back panel with the bumper, the lights, tow bar and everything, is basically the quarter panels. And obviously we now have got a little bit of movement in there. It's mainly in the floor, not actually in the quarter panel, so I don't think I'm going to have to worry too much about the tailgate fitting on. Bearing in mind they're not really a great fit anyway, even if I was to keep everything as dimensionally correct as, you know, Austin had, my tailgate probably would fit just as well as theirs did, which isn't very well. So I'm not going to worry too much about that, but what I will do now is I'm going to start thinking about what else of this boot floor I'm going to cut out, because I'm obviously going to change the height of the boot floor now, we know that. I can then start thinking about putting those wheel tubs in both sides, and I've now got loads of new metal to attach it to, so that's good. I can start to, you know, plan around that. What I want to do now is strip off the tow bar, my beloved tow bar that I kind of would like to keep but probably won't. Get the bumper off. I might just leave the lights in for now, they're not really doing anything. Just get the kind of bigger, chunkier, heavier bits off, because there's a lot of weight in this bumper. It's pretty thick. Yeah, get them bits stripped off. Hopefully get some weight out of this back panel, and then think about how much of this I'm actually going to cut out, because it's probably going to be most of it really. Yeah, so let's try and get some of these mega rusty bolts out that hold this tow bar on in this piece of Swiss cheese floor. Tow bar's off, bumper's off, crappy old fog light is off, and yeah, it's actually made quite a big difference to like the internal structure of the car, because there's not so much weight hanging off the very back panel now, so it's not really flexing so much. Again, one thing that doesn't help is that the kind of near side quarter is rotted so much it's not actually connected to like the back valance anymore. It's all just like, you know, it's not connected, it's just completely rotted away. So that's obviously something that's going to need attention at some point. But where we're at now is I kind of feel like I'm going to chop out everything that's left in the boot. I kind of originally, you know, a few months ago was kind of thinking I might be able to use some of this. I think, again, the further and further you go with the car, the more you realise it's got to come out, because it's so rusty. Like, even the bits that are good are attached to bits that aren't good, and you'll spend so much more time trying to separate the good from the bad that it's easy to just chop it all out and start again. So I think that's what I'll do. I'm going to chop out this kind of very last bit of the boot as such, and then that'll leave more or less nothing structural on this back panel. But it's okay, because there's no weight on here now, so I shouldn't have to worry about anything moving too much, tailgate, etc. But now that I've seen it without the bumper on, I had some thoughts about, you know, maybe not using the bumper and going bumperless. This is damaged. You can get one. There's one on eBay right now, a rear bumper for a Princess, but this is damaged. Again, it's super rusty on the backside. The chrome's all gone. The rubber that goes around it's knackered. I kind of think I'm just going to go bumperless. I think it'll be quite a cool look. Smooth off all the back panel. Again, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here with like the cosmetic bodywork stuff, but it's nice to begin to be able to think about these things. So yeah, I think that's the way I'm going to go. So if anybody needs a rusty bent bumper for a Princess, or if you're thinking about taking the caravan away this summer, I've also got a tow bar that's a direct fit for a Princess. which I'm willing to let go to a good home. So yeah, a bit more chopping, and we'll see where we're at, I think. So I've got all the kind of, like, the majority of the inside of the boot cut out now. And it's just left me with this valance panel, which luckily has got like a bit of a strengthener on it, because that's like more or less what's keeping the shape. It's so holy. But I want to leave this on for now because it's going to give me something to work off when I begin to fabricate a new panel in the future. But what I can begin to do now is start thinking about the boot floor and these wheel tubs. I've obviously got the ends of these bits of box section to cap in still that I had over from the last episode. I couldn't get onto one side because of the strengthener bars that I had in, but they're gone now, so I can do that. I need to put the subframe back in. I'll do these strengthener bars, put the subframe back in, and then I can actually plan out where the boot floor is going to go. So again, load more cardboard panels. I'll probably do the back end first, because I know with the front end there's a load more rust that's got to get chopped out. But yeah, it's going to be onto wheel tubs in the next episode, and yeah, working out this this rear part of the boot floor and how we can attach it to what's left of what's good inside here. I do want to try and make a nice job of this, but but basically every panel is rusty, and not just the panels, all the seams. So I know if I don't get rid of most of the seams, even if I chop the rust out of the panels, there's just going to be rust coming through again in no time, because between all of the panel seams it's just rusty. So there's still quite a bit of work to do. I'm not getting carried away with the cosmetic stuff yet, because I know for myself I'd rather get the car like really structurally sound, engine in, you know, on its wheels, can almost be driven around before I start going too crazy on the cosmetic stuff. But it is something I need to think about, because I don't want to be making new structural panels that tie into cosmetic panels that are going to get chopped out. So yeah, that's what we're looking at in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.